Hello and welcome to Spardha Lines, your one-stop destination for the civil services preparation, UPSC, KPSC and other relevant examinations. We have picked up a couple of important articles from your GS Paper 1, GS Paper 2 and GS 3 perspective. Let's get started and look into the first article. The first article is about artificial intelligence. Artificial intelligence as a subject matter has most of the advantages when it comes to the real life situations. But what this article focuses is on concerns with respect to the artificial intelligence, especially with respect to the implementation as well as with respect to the section of a society with special emphasis to the children. So this article primarily goes on to say that as much as we have advantages and positive outcome from artificial intelligence, there is concern with respect to a certain section of the society, especially with respect to the children when it is not regulated. So what is the steps that we have to take? What are the measures that one have to take so that this entire concerns and issues with respect to the children is addressed? What is the context? The context in this article goes on to say India is to host the first ever global summit on artificial intelligence. So India is hosting Artificial Intelligence Summit. Additionally, as the chair of Global Partnership on Artificial Intelligence, India will also host the GPAI Global Summit in December as well. And when you look at the data, this event stresses strategic importance of AI as it is projected to add 500 billion to Indian economy by 2025, accounting for 10% of the country's target GDP. Such is the humongous scale of scalability and profitability that artificial intelligence is bringing. When it brings a certain level of increase of the economic value for India, it also showcases a certain level of problems in the artificial intelligence, especially for the children if it is not regulated. So this article currently focuses on to say that as much as we have positive outcomes that is generated from artificial intelligence, there are issues and concerns for the children. What are these issues and concerns with respect to the children? The article goes on to focus on a couple of important concepts. One is with respect to the concept of dark pattern. What is this concept of dark pattern? Let me simplify this process for you. Let's say for example, you go on an online platform. It can be any website. So the intention of you was to buy one of the product or to buy a service, but you do make a basic Google search as well. So the artificial intelligence tool that is running behind the website is able to gauge what you want, and you would not just buy that particular good, but you are encouraged to buy some other product which you originally did not want to buy. That is what is called as dark pattern. Dark pattern is that particular algorithm and that particular programming where a person might have been wanting to buy a specific product, but because of the artificial intelligence tools, he also goes on to buy something else which he originally did not want to buy, which is the pattern called as the dark pattern. How does this work? There are a couple of tools and couple of features of the dark pattern. Let me give you some of the features of the dark pattern. Let's say for example, you would want to buy a mobile phone. So what do? You go on a website and you would want to buy a mobile phone. But then there is a sticker that comes on this particular website that if you buy this mobile phone within 10 minutes, within 5 minutes, within 1 minute, you will get a discount of 20%. What is your intention? The intention of you was to buy the mobile phone, so you would want to compare and check and ultimately see what are the features that are best adaptable for you, and you would buy that particular product. But then there is a ticker that comes on the website, so you are encouraged, so you are asked to prod and you are asked to buy that product within 1 minute or 5 minutes or 10 minutes because you would get a certain percentage of discount. Is this the right way to do? No, that is an aspect of dark pattern. Let me give you another aspect of dark pattern. Let's say for example, there is a shirt or there is a t-shirt that you would want to buy. So the minute you look at this shirt or the t-shirt, there is a high resolution image. The image of this particular t-shirt or a shirt looks very good. So you want to buy that particular product, you put it on the cart as well. So once you put it on the cart, what would happen? The image is in such a way that this particular image would be added, that is this t-shirt would be added to your cart. Apart from that, something else gets added as well. That is another part of dark pattern. So let's say this t-shirt is costing you about 500 rupees. So apart from the 500 rupees, they would also add additional charges to it which you may not know. That is an example of dark pattern. Or the minute you've bought your t-shirt, this will get delivered to you, and the minute you see this particular t-shirt, it is of a low quality. So what is the projection? The projection is that this is the best product, it has a high resolution image, and the minute you buy the product, it reaches your doorstep, the product is the worst product that you will ever encounter. That is an aspect of dark pattern. And dark pattern also nudges you to buy a particular product, it encourages you to buy a product, it constantly interferes, and it says that you would not be able to buy this particular product by constantly pounding you with images as well as emails. That is an aspect of dark pattern. And these dark patterns basically harm the children far more than the adults. Why? Because these children do not know the realities of the outer world. So what do? They have a credit card, they will take their parents' credit card, they will also have the parental mobile phones as well. When the parents are not monitoring them, they are used to these dark patterns, and they will buy the product which their parents don't even know. And only when the credit card bill does come, that is when they realize that the child would have bought a product because of the nudging and the encouragement that they received on the online platform. So what is this dark pattern? Dark pattern is a program or an algorithm that is running on the online platform, basically could nudge you to actually buy that particular product which you originally did not want to intend. So this article says the dark pattern pushes more number of children to buy a specific product which they originally did not intend to, and that is the problem with respect to AI, because children are using it. The second is with respect to ideal physical appearance. What is this ideal physical appearance? Let's say, for example, I as a person am wearing the glasses, but there is a certain level of perception that is created that glasses are not necessary. What you require is a LASIK surgery, so on and so forth. One such example. Or let's say, for example, a person has a certain complexion. So this person is made to feel that a so and so complexion is not good for that particular person. There is a particular jawline that a person has. This jawline is not right. So there is a certain hairstyle, or there is a certain eye pattern, or there is a particular weird beard pattern, and there are cosmetic surgeries that are done. So all that these children are constantly molded and bombarded with is that their physical appearance is far more superior than the inner character, and that is how the artificial intelligence is molding a person's character. It is not looking at the inner character but the outside appearance, and as a result these children feel inferior if they do not meet by the intended standards and the established standards that have been coming up by the artificial intelligence tools, and ultimately they come up with the inferiority complex, and then these ideal physical appearances constantly bombard them. So the artificial intelligence tools also create an inferiority complex to the children. The third is with respect to doxing. What exactly happens with doxing? Doxing is basically an information. Let's say, for example, I as a person, I am an advocate working before the Honorable High Court. So what do? I have my information that I am an advocate Ajay. Ajay is an advocate working before the Honorable High Court. Ajay is a person residing in so and so place in Bangalore. So what exactly happens? This is the information that I would give, but there are some information which I might not reveal the outside world. This information which is present on my laptop, this information which is present on my phone, information is accessed by the hacker, or without my knowledge I also give out this information, and this is put out on a public forum. So that information which I would want to give, I would give it to the world. As I am saying you that I practiced before so and so court, all this is the information that I would want to give you. But let's say, for example, there is some personal information which is within my laptop, which is within my mobile phone, which I would not want to give. In that particular case, if there is an information information which is taken, stolen, hacked by my phone or by my laptop, and this is given out in the public forum. That is what is called as doxing. But with children, it is far more as well. They do not know how to operate. So in that particular case, because of their innocence, they give out some intricate data, personal information, and this information is shared on an online platform which is called as doxing. And the minute this information is given, these hackers put it out in the public forum, and ultimately this information can also be misused as well. So the artificial intelligence is doxing the young children, and these children are facing a lot of problems because their personal information is out on the public forum. And with the artificial intelligence, we also have morphed sexually explicit depictions of the children as well. What they are making use is the deep fake information technology, and these fake technologies is making use of it. They're changing the voice of the children. Even if they capsulate the voice of the children, they're making use of this voice as well as morphing the images of the children as well. Let's say, for example, we also have parents who would want to put information about their children on Instagram about the parenthood, how the child is growing, and this information, as it is being put on Instagram or on Facebook or any other media platform, constantly a hacker or a person who's constantly monitoring that will take these images, morph it, and depict them as a sexually depicted image. This is also going to harm that particular child as well. The child is innocent, does not even know what is happening, but at the same time, because of the deep fake technology, they are able to morph the image of this child with a sexually explicit depiction. This is going to harm the child as well, and ultimately, between one religion and another religion, one race and another race, one ethnic group and another ethnic group, they are creating a lot of biasness and the discrimination, which is leading to a chaos for the children with respect to the AI intelligence. So this article goes on to say these are the concerns that are present with respect to the artificial intelligence of the children. So how do we overcome this particular issue? What we require is the data protection law. So whenever India is initiating the data protection law, it has to have explicit specific focus with respect to the children alone, because children happen to be one of the most hurt, and as a result this section have to be regulated. So what does that India have to do? India, when it is coming up with its own data protection laws, it can import couple of concepts from the international establishments as well as examples from other countries, and ultimately import and adopt these concepts whenever it is making a data protection law for the children. So what are the examples given by the author? The author takes into example three basic importance. One is with respect to the UNICEF guidance. The UNICEF guidance for the policymakers on artificial intelligence and children identifies 9 requirements for child-centered AI, which draws on the UN Convention on the Rights of the Children. So remember, we have the UN Convention on the Rights of the Child, and from the preliminary examination point of view, India is a signatory to this convention. The guidance aims to create an enabling environment which promotes children's well-being, inclusion, fairness, non-discrimination, safety, transparency, explainability and accountability. If we are able to import the UNICEF guidelines, add it as part of our data protection law. Second is with respect to the California's Age Appropriate Design Code Act, which serves as an interesting template. What is this Age Appropriate Design Code? Let's say, for example, there is a child whose age is between 2 to 7 years of age. Add them under one single bracket. Let's say the child is between 7 to 10 years of age. Add them under another bracket. Let's say the child is between 10 to 14 years of age. Add them to one another bracket, and then it is from 15 to 18, add it in another bracket. So as per this area or this age group that they have, there has to be a formal settings that has to be defaulted. Let's say, for example, the parent will always have to monitor. Then generally when it comes to the digital protection laws, what you always say is it is the parental responsibility. They have to take the responsibility of the children. Yes, they have to take the responsibility of the children, but added to they taking the responsibility responsibility of the children if the code and the laws and the templates are designed in such a way that children can be monitored by the parents. That will help in far excess level. So the Californian code pushes for transparency to ensure that digital services configure default privacy settings, access whether algorithms, data collection or targeted advertising harm children, use clear age appropriate language for user facing information. Indian authorities should encourage research which collects evidence on the benefits and the risk of AI for India's children and the adolescents. What does this mean? So for a specific group, let's say for example 7 to 10 years, 10 to 14 years, 15 to 18 years, the parent will have to set a default settings for that particular child. For example, if it is making use of a mobile phone or the child is making use of the laptop, the algorithm should be on the Chrome or on the Mozilla Firefox or any of the servers or any of the search engines should be in such a way that the default premise of a particular age group should be set. Once this setting has been done on that particular search engine, what should happen? Only relevant content for that particular child has to be released. So if there is a targeted advertising, what is the necessity of that particular service? It has to be restricted only for that. So the parents will have to ensure that they restrict that particular age group, and the search engine should only showcase what is apt for that particular age group. So what we require is assistance from the parents and simultaneously from the algorithm code as well. California has already adopted it, so we can make use of this design code and ultimately implement in India for the digital transactions. And better institutions will help shift regulation away from the top-down safety protocols which place undue burdens on the parents. As we just discussed, when it comes to the top-down approach, what happens? You have the parents and you also have the children. Entire responsibility is kept on the parents. But we can also look at the top-down, instead of top-down approach, bottom-up approach as well. What is this bottom-up approach? We have the children. So whenever they go online, what are the kind of troubles they face? What are the kind of discouragements they face? What are the issues that they face? What are the problems that they face? What are the grievances that they have to look into? All these will be understood by speaking to the child. So we require an institution, we require the parents, we also require the teachers and other people to basically speak to the children. On a larger conduction of a sample survey, they have to monitor these particular ideologies. So when I say that they have to monitor these ideologies, there are certain set of ideologies, certain set of indoctrinations that is happening to the children. So if they are hurt by these ideologies and the indoctrination and the AI artificial intelligence tools, the same will have to be picked up by the parents, from the students, from the children, and from the students by the teachers, and ultimately they have to draw a conclusion. And after drawing a conclusion, the same will have to be reported to an institution, and this institution will have to take steps accordingly. Mechanisms of regular dialogue with children will help incorporate their inputs on the benefits and the threats they face when interacting with AI based digital services. An institution similar to Australia's Online Safety Youth Advisory Council, which comprises between the ages of 13 to 24 years, could be an interesting approach. So this Australian approach has already started off something similar to it. So why not adopt that to India's digital protection law? So this article says that artificial intelligence is good for the country. It has been helping in a larger level, but there are negative outcomes because of it. So these are the outcomes. So correct it, and correcting it will require the data protection law for the larger interest of the children, is what is this article all about. Now let's look into the next article. This article here is speaking about the Cauvery issue, the Cauvery water conundrum. This is a larger picture. What we will do is we will release a video which will give you the history of it, what is the controversy all about, what are the various issues and concerns, what has the Supreme Court said about it, what is the committee that has been appointed, and today we also have Bangalore Bandh as well. That is because of the Cauvery issue. We also have Karnataka Bandh, which is coming up very shortly as well. So what we will try and understand is the larger picture with respect to this entire Cauvery issue. We will look at the geography, where it originates from, where it flows, and how it reaches the Bay of Bengal region. We will also look at all the arguments in favor and against this committee, and we will look at the larger picture, where I will be recording this video with entire background. As of now, you don't have to go through this article, but we will discuss this in a very elaborate way. After that, you don't have to read any other magazine or any other content for that matter. Do wait for some time. We will have a complete video with respect to the Cauvery issue. Now let's look into the next article. This article here is speaking about Teesta Rivers. This Teesta River can be a very important factor, one for your preliminary examination, second is for your mains examination as well. When it comes to the preliminary examination, where is it? This happens to be a river which originates in Sikkim. So as you can see, this is the Teesta River. It is flowing in the Indian state of Sikkim as well as West Bengal, and it ultimately flows into the Bangladesh region. So it happens to be an inter-country river. It is a 414 kilometer long river that rises in Cauvery mountain of eastern Himalayas, flows through the Indian states of Sikkim and West Bengal, subsequently enters Bangladesh through Rangpur division. The river Teesta originates from Teesta Kangse Glacier west of Pahanuri Glacier. These are some of the important pointers from the preliminary examination point of view. And do note, when it comes to the tributaries, there are left bank tributaries of river Teesta, right bank tributaries of river Teesta. Rangpo, Wanchuwa, Ranikola, Relly River, Talung, Dikchu, Langchu happens to be the left bank happens to be the left bank tributaries. Right bank tributaries are Rangit, Kanaka River, Ringyang Chu as well as Rangpong Chu. These are some of the left bank as well as the right bank tributaries of river Teesta. When it comes to this particular river, it is a very valuable source of hydroelectricity. A lot of hydroelectricity energy is generated from Teesta River, and this can be used to generate hydropower, and this is also being used to power the state of Sikkim as well. And added to it, a larger portion of Teesta River is in India, and only about 17% flows through Bangladesh. These are some of the important factors with respect to the preliminary examination point of view. So what is this article speaking about? This article goes on to say that social activist and Narmada Bachao Andolan leader Medha Patkar has urged West Bengal Chief Minister and Trinamool Congress Chief Mamata Banerjee to agree with the sharing of the Teesta River with Bangladesh. Why? That is because India and Bangladesh have friendly relationship. So if we enter into this Teesta River Water Treaty, this will help both India as well as Bangladesh, says Medha Patkar ji. So from the preliminary examination point of view, we understood where this river originates, how it flows, because in the past UPSC has asked questions with respect to Teesta Water River. Now let's look into the next article. This article here is speaking about two important factors. One is with respect to what is called as Odhuvars. The other is with respect to Vedapureeswarar temple. First, let's understand some of the important facts with respect to Vedapureeswarar temple. It happens to be a Hindu temple dedicated to the deity Lord Shiva, located in Tiruvarkur, a municipality in Tiruvar district in Tamil Nadu. So where is this Vedapureeswarar temple? It happens to be a temple in the state of Tamil Nadu. The presiding deity is revered in 7th century Tamil Saiva canonical work Tevaram, written by Tamil saint poets known as Nayanars and classified as Paddal Petra Sthalam. These are the wordings of Nayanars. Nayanars are saints from the state of Tamil Nadu, and this complex of this temple was originally believed to have been built before 7th century CE by the Cholas. These are important factors with respect to Vedapureeswarar temple. This further makes a mention of Odhuvars. Who are these Odhuvars? Odhuvars are nothing but devotional singers in the Shaivite temples. This is again important from the preliminary examination point of view. So remember, Odhuvars are nothing but women. These are nothing but the devotional singers. Where do they sing? In the Shaivite temple. The article further makes a reference to Vedapureeswarar temple. Where is it? Please put it on the comment section. Now let's look into the next article. This article here is speaking about two important factors from the preliminary examination point of view. One is with respect to the Tiwa tribesmen. The other is the festival that they celebrate called as the Wanchuwa festival. The Tiwa people are a Tibeto-Burmese ethnic group primarily inhabiting the northeast Indian states of Assam, Meghalaya, Arunachal Pradesh, then parts of neighboring Bangladesh as well as Myanmar. A striking peculiarity of the Tiwa is the division into two subgroups. One is what is called as the hill Tiwa. The other happens to be plain Tiwas, displaying contrasting cultural features. So there are two types of Tiwas, one who live in the hill, the other who live in the plain Tiwas. Why did the plain Tiwas come to the plain? They were also living in the hill. They all of a sudden moved to the plains. Why? That is because of the cultural differences. One, when it comes to the hill Tiwas, they have the matrilineal setup. This was not taken up by the plain Tiwas. So they moved because of the cultural differences from the hills to the plain region. The main festivals of the Tiwa ethnic groups are Tripisu, which is Bihu, Borodkam, Borod Utsav, Kabla Puja, Kelkawakam, Lanko Puja, Sogra Puja and Wangsho. So this festival Wanchuwa happens to be a festival of the Tiwa tribe. They also organize what is called as Jonbil Mela every year, in which barter system of trade is still prevalent in that part. So remember, Jonbil Mela is to do with one of the festivals where barter system, exchange of food crops with other crops, still take place among this particular tribal group. Tiwas under the denomination of Lalung, so by the name Lalung, have been recorded as a scheduled tribe in the first constitution order of 1950 for the state of Assam. So they are recognized as scheduled tribes in the state of Assam. As part of the assignment, you have to put on the comment section, are these people given the scheduled tribe category or they fall under this particular ambit in the state of Meghalaya? So are they called or recognized as scheduled tribes in Meghalaya? Please put it on the comment section. Now let's look into the next article. This article here is again important from the preliminary examination point of view, where it makes a reference to Justice Gita Mittal Committee. What is this Justice Gita Mittal Committee? This was constituted by the Supreme Court to intervene and monitor relief and rehabilitation and restoration of homesteads, religious places of worship in Manipur. So we recently had a lot of issues in Manipur. Because of these issues, the Supreme Court was monitoring what was happening in Manipur very constantly. There were a number of people whose house were put on fire. There were also people who had to move from one place to another. There was internal migration that took place. In order to understand the grievances of the people and address their grievance, the Supreme Court appointed a committee, and that committee is Justice Gita Mittal Committee. So Justice Gita Mittal Committee was appointed by the Supreme Court to oversee relief and rehabilitation of the victims of violence in Manipur. So this can be important from the preliminary examination point of view, where they can ask you a question, what is Justice Gita Mittal Committee's objectives? Is it to do with the banking? Is it to do with the digital services? Is it to do with the tribal heartland? Is it to do with the rehabilitation for the victims of the Manipur? So the answer to this would be that this was a committee which was appointed to intervene and monitor relief and rehabilitation for the victims of violence in the state of Manipur. This is very important from the preliminary examination point of view. Now let's look into the next article. This article says NGOs told to declare assets acquired with foreign funds. What is this article speaking about? we have the Ministry of Home Affairs, which has recently come up with what is called as the Foreign Contribution Rules Amendment Rules of 2023. They came up with two additional rules. One is with respect to the movable assets, the other is with respect to the immovable assets. What are movable assets? Let's say for example we have an NGO. The NGO is receiving foreign funds, let's say for example from Germany or United States of America or from United Kingdom, whatsoever. So there is money that is coming to this NGO, an amount has been deposited to these funds, so they are withdrawing this money, the NGOs are withdrawing this money. So what are the assets that they have bought? Movable and immovable. Immovable can be in the form of a property, it can be in the form of a building, a commercial complex, so on and so forth, and it can be a movable asset. Let's say for example for them to travel, car is required or a laptop is required or anything like that. So whenever they receive funds before the financial year, that is 31st of March of the financial year, they should be able to declare what are the movable assets that they have brought, what are the immovable assets that they have brought within the financial year. So two new additionals have been made to the existing rules, where NGOs are required to declare details of assets by March 31st of the financial year. What are the details? The details to be filled in are description of the assets, size and location of use of immovable property asset such as land, building, value of movable assets at the beginning, financial year, value of assets acquired and disposed during the year, and the value of the balance sheet at the end of the year. This is basically being done in order to promote transparency and accountability of the NGOs. What was happening with the NGOs? They used to receive the money. Let's say they've received the money for the educational purposes, but they have used this money in order to create a chaos in the society. What do? There have been ample number of examples as well. One is with respect to the Narmada Bachao Andolan, or with respect to any of the developmental programs that the government of India has taken up. What these NGOs were doing is constantly encouraging a certain section of the people to go on protest against the government. So if the government is taking up one of the project, let's say the Narmada developmental project, or let's say for example they are coming up with the nuclear project for the energy, in that case they would create and ask a certain section of the people to protest this particular issue. So they used to receive money for the sake of education, but they were using it for anti-social activities in the society. So in order to keep a check, what the government of India is doing is making sure that the minute you get your money in your accounts, deposited in your accounts, what is the money that you are using for. So if it is restricted for the education, use it only for the education and not for any other purpose. So the minute you get this information, the deposition to your account, you have to ensure that this is used only for that purpose. So the money that you receive, please give the information what you brought from this, whether it is the property, whether it is a movable asset, declare it within the financial year, is what is this article all about. This is important from your GS paper 2, governance, where you have transparency and accountability, and one such topic that you have in GS paper 2 is also NGO. So regulating NGO is what is the intent of this article. Now let's look into the next article. This article here is important from three factors. One is with respect to the Interpol. Second is to understand what is this red notice. Third happens to be this BKI. So remember, first we will understand what is this Babar Khalsa International. This happens to be a terrorist organization. So Babar Khalsa International is a terrorist organization. First important factor. Second is with respect to the Interpol. What is Interpol? Interpol is also called as the International Criminal Police Organization. In short, it is called as the Interpol. Which authority or an organization is the Interpol for India is what you have to put on the comment section. Is it Enforcement Directorate? Is it the Central Bureau of Investigation? Is it the NIA? Who acts as an Interpol for India? Please put it on the comment section. It is the world's largest international police organization. It is headquartered in Lyon, France, with 7 regional bureaus worldwide and a national central bureau in all 195 member states. When we speak about Interpol, it has a governance and the management structure, which basically includes the General Assembly, the Executive Committee, the General Secretariat, the National Central Bureau, and the Commission for the Control of Interpol Files, called as the advisors. At the heart of the Interpol, what we have is the National Central Bureau. So what is this National Central Bureau? When we speak about the National Central Bureau, it is at the heart of the Interpol. They seek information needed from other NCBs to help investigate crime and criminals in their own country, and they share criminal data and intelligence to assist another country. So this National Control Bureau basically will take information from all countries and ultimately share this information. So what is the intent? The intent is to stop the criminal activities in the country. So let's say India has the information about a criminal activity. Now this person who was in India goes to United Kingdom or he goes to Pakistan. So we require this information, the global community will require the information. So India will take this information, its investigating agencies will take the information and give it to the central repository, and ultimately this will start divulging the information to all countries world over. So as part of their role in global investigation, they work with law enforcement agencies in their own country, other NCBs and sub-bureaus around the world, the General Secretariat's office worldwide. And whenever they get the authenticate information, they will contribute to the global database. And at the same time, as we discussed, we have something called as the red notices. So what are the different kinds of notices that we have in the Interpol? What we have is red notice, where it seeks to locate and arrest wanted person with a view to extradition or similar lawful action. Let's say for example there is a criminal, India issues a red notice. So the minute a red notice is issued by India, let's say this person is in Bangladesh, or let's say this person is in Sri Lanka, he is hiding in these countries. So the minute a red notice is issued and those agencies in Sri Lanka or Bangladesh know that this person is in Sri Lanka or Bangladesh, they'll immediately capture this person and extradite this person to India, because a red notice of so and so person has been issued by India's agencies on the Interpol. Then what we have is blue notice, to collect additional information about a person's identity, location or activities in relation to a crime. Find out what are the activities this person is involved in blue notice. Yellow notice is to help locating missing persons, often minors, or to help persons who are unable to identify themselves. And black notice is to seek information on unidentified bodies. Let's say for example there is a person who has passed away, there is a dead body that is lying in their country. They know for the fact that this happens to be a person not from their country and it happens to be a person from another country. So to identify whose body this is, black notice is issued. Green notice to provide warnings and intelligence about persons who have committed criminal offences and are likely to repeat these crimes in another country. Orange notice is to warn of an event, a person, an object or a person representing a serious and imminent threat to the public safety. Then we have purple notice to seek or provide information on modus operandi, objects, devices and concealment methods used by the criminals. These are the different kinds of notices that are issued by the Interpol. Now let's look into the next article. This article here is speaking about the Official Secrets Act. What is this Official Secrets Act? There are two important factors. One is with respect to spying. The other is with respect to sharing of secret information. Let's assume for a moment there is an information which is a top secret for the country. Now what if this information is taken by the Indian, given to a foreign country or an enemy country, which ideally should not have been given? Which law regulates it? That happens to be the Official Secrets Act. So if there is a person who is working for the government of India or the government of the respective states, and this information should not have been given to a foreign country, but then this person divulges the information, that information could be costly for the country. Because he gave away this information, he is monitored and then prosecuted under the Official Secrets Act. So the Official Secrets Act basically looks into spying and sharing of secret information. So what is this information? This could be with reference to a government document, photograph, sketch, map, plans, models. Official codes are the passwords. So if a person from India goes on to give this information to a foreign country or an enemy country, that will be covered under the Official Secrets Act. Or if there is a foreign personnel, a foreign citizen who comes to India and then he is engaging in spying, taking out some information, that person is also covered under Official Secrets Act. So the law applicable to government servants and citizens and also other individuals provides framework for dealing with espionage, sedition and other potential threats to the integrity of the nation. And if a person is found guilty, then this person will be thrown behind bars for about 14 years of imprisonment or fine or both. In fact, we also have a recommendation, that is the Second Administrative Reforms Commission, which had also suggested that this act as a whole need not be present, but this can be substituted by a chapter in the National Security Act. And do note, when it comes to the Official Secrets Act, it is very important that it is also in conflict with the RTI. Why? Because when it comes to RTI, Right to Information Act, we have to receive some information which we ask for, but the Official Secrets Act does not give out the information when asked for. These are some of the important pointers with respect to the Official Secrets Act. Now let's look into the next article. This article here is speaking about SARFAESI Act. There are two important factors that we have to look at. One is what is an NPA. The second is with respect to the SARFAESI Act. What is an NPA? NPA happens to be a non-performing asset. What is this non-performing asset? Let's say for example, we have a bank. The bank happens to be an NBFC or any other bank. It has given you a loan of about 10 lakhs. So what do you do? Because they have given you 10 lakhs, you would mortgage a particular property. Let's say for example, you have your home or you have a commercial complex. So there is a security that you would give, and for this particular security where you mortgage this home or a complex, you would take about 10 lakhs from the bank or the NBFC. So you are asked to pay a certain amount of money as interest. So if a person who's taken a loan does not give back the loan, that is the premium amount or the interest, within 90 days, so you have taken the loan, every month you have to pay the premium as well as the interest charges. So if you do not pay the interest or the premium for the next 90 days after you have picked up the loan, that is when that loan will be classified as a non-performing asset. So what is a non-performing asset? Why is it called as a non-performing asset? When it comes to the banking in the country, a bank will have loans which are nothing but an asset to the bank. Why? Because whenever a bank is giving you a loan, it is also charging a certain percentage from you, which is an asset for the company. So the interest that is generated is becoming an asset. Let's say you deposit your money to the bank. Let's say for example, you have the FDs. What do? It gives you 6% interest or 7% interest whatsoever. This happens to become a liability for the bank. Why? Because it is paying you the interest. Why is it called as an asset? Because it is taking profits from the people. So a non-performing asset basically means it has given loan to you. It should have become an asset for that particular bank, but it has become a liability now because the person is not performing the act of paying the interest as well as premium. So if the premium or the interest, the principal amount or the interest is not paid for about 9 months, for about 90 days, this will become a non-performing asset. So what is the SARFAESI Act? Now what if there is a bank or a NBFC which has not got any principal amount or the interest for the 90 days? Should it completely allow that person to take away and enjoy all the benefits and not repay back the debt? This means that the bank is losing out on its front. So the SARFAESI Act was brought into picture when these people who take the loan do not give back the money within 90 days, their mortgage property can ultimately be sold in public by following the due procedure, which is called as the SARFAESI Act. What does the SARFAESI stands for? Securitization and reconstruction of financial assets and enforcement of the security interest. Let's say you have your home which you have mortgaged. You would be given a notice period after 90 days. So within 60 days you have to reply. If you don't reply, they will immediately go to the regional court, that is the chief magistrate, and they will request the permission from the chief magistrate that, dear chief magistrate, this person has not paid the amount for so and so date. We have also issued notice to this person. Within 60 days he has not actually replied. He has not paid back the NPA as well. So please give us the permission to actually go ahead and auction this particular property that we have as a security. So the security is the mortgage, home or the complex. So they seek the permission from the court, and then with the appointment of the police officers for the protection, they ultimately take possession of that particular property and they can auction this property as well. That is what is called a SARFAESI Act. So SARFAESI Act, you would have a property which is mortgage. So these people that is under the SARFAESI Act, that property they can sell it to retake their money, is what is the preference of the SARFAESI Act. Now let's look into the next article. This article here is speaking about what is called as the guidelines that have been issued by the government of Delhi to prevent and curb the dust. So what happens whenever there is increasing cases of construction activity, in order to make sure that these construction activity do not actually increase the pollution, what they have come up with is with certain guidelines, and one such guideline is to follow and install the anti-smog guns. What are these anti-smog guns? As shown in the image, these are the anti-smog guns. It is a device that spews fine nebulized water droplets into the atmosphere so that smallest dust and polluted particles are absorbed. The gun is connected to a water tank as shown in the image, and this is mounted on a vehicle as shown in the image. It is designed in such a way that it converts the water into a fine spray with droplet size of 50 to 100 microns by passing it through high pressure propellers. These anti-smog guns are also called a spray gun or mist gun or water cannon. It reduces air pollution by binding the dust and other particulate matter and carrying them down to the ground level along with the water, and this has a canopy effect and works like rain to bring down the suspended particles wafting in the atmosphere. But then there are environmentalists who also voice their concerns as well. What are the concerns that they say? That whenever this anti-smog gun is being used, it is only with respect to a limited area. The other parts will not have any impact to it. It is restricted to a certain area and a space, and it will not impact the major part, and as a result this is not of much impact to the entire region, but only restricted to a specific region and only for a short period of time, is what is this article all about. So basically, in order to curb the pollution, the Delhi government is asking them to make use of these anti-smog guns wherever construction activities are happening, and these anti-smog guns will basically reduce the pollution, is what is this article all about. It is this that we have to understand with respect to this article. So this is it for today. Thank you for watching, and in case you're liking these videos, please do like, subscribe to our YouTube channel, and please tell me in case you want me to discuss any of the topics, please put it on the comment section so that I can discuss those topics as well. Thank you for watching. All the best.